taking you inside a major court decision impacting dozens of murder cases.
Judge just ruling. It's time for this Phoenix detective to start answering some questions here. For more than a year, she's claimed to be too unwell to testify about her cases and the mistakes she made handling evidence. But ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscabang caught her working multiple jobs after retiring on a disability claim. And now Dave's back to take us inside that judge's decision.
So, she retired under a disability claim there in Arizona. This disability is so debilitating that apparently she cannot go to court and testify in these cases that she mishandled over her about 18 years on the job. That was about 14,000 pages of documents, 100 court cases that probably going to be thrown out.
Our reporting already led to this major ruling, and even though we already broke news of this decision, we think it's important for you to see exactly what happened in court and see what the judge had to say, especially since this impacts so many life and death matters.
Would counsel please announce appearances?
This hearing may be part of a first-degree murder case, but nothing about the hearing is about the crime. It's about the lead detective, Jennifer DePonzio, and if she's still too unwell to testify.
Have those circumstances changed, and is she now available as a witness?
Here's why Judge Bruce Cohen is now asking that question. For years, DePonzio repeatedly mishandled evidence, the mistakes impacting 37 court cases and 61 police investigations. In July 2021, as she was confronted with the mounting problems, she went on medical leave and never returned to work. In December 2022, two things happened. She retired, and a previous judge ruled she would likely never be well enough to participate in court proceedings.
So, I would imagine that would be at the 90% rate. And if you go to the state website, anybody can go to their own state website, type in the state, or North Carolina, northcarolina.gov. You can click on an area, a precinct, a department, type in a name. It'll tell you when they were hired. It'll tell you how much money they started making. It'll tell you how much money they're making now. It'll show you every time they got a pay raise. Looks like she is $76,752. It is 16.8% higher than the average pay for coworkers, and 7.0% higher than the national average for government employees. Why is she 16.8% higher than her coworkers? Because she's a female.
Then came our story in October. After that court ruling and her retirement, we showed DePonzio almost immediately began working as an esthetician.
Almost immediately began working. So, if her salary was $76,750 and a major disability, she's going to draw 90%. I'm no mathematician, but we're looking at just under $70,000 a year. Also, tax-free. All that money is tax-free. So, of course, she's going to pick up another couple jobs because she doesn't care.
Added another job as a chiropractic assistant/therapist.
Have those circumstances changed?
And that takes us back to court.
Our position remains the same, that she is still currently unavailable.
But the judge wanted to see proof. DePonzio's updated medical records.
How extensive are they?
They're not extensive at all, Judge.
The judge also wanted to read them right away.
I'll just go do this.
And DePonzio's attorneys handed over the file. After 30 minutes, the judge returned and let both sides argue their side.
Because I think there are failures, investigative failures, that need to be held to account before a jury.
The defense attorney, who's not been allowed to see DePonzio's confidential medical records, highlighted evidence from our story about her working. He explained how it fits in the timeline. Remember, on December 16th, 2022, the court was provided medical records and ruled DePonzio may never be available. Then on December 28th last year, she officially retired under a disability claim. Just a few days later, on January 2nd, 2023, this is the first post for her business Instagram page. It said,
so even if she's at the 90% rate of $69-ish thousand, I think that'll run for 60 months. And then she'll drop to 60. 62.5%. So she'd still, after 5 years, still be drawing just under $48,000 a year, tax free. So feel free to pick up another job. People in Arizona, she needs your money.
Said it's time to get busy.
But she retires on December 28th, 2022, and then let's get busy on January 2nd, 2023. Was Ms. DePonzio being transparent with what was provided to the court at the time when we look at it in the context of what we now know?
She was not. None government is transparent. Transparency makes them look, they make themselves look bad. Transparency brings out what they're trying to hide. They don't like transparency. They'll tell you they love transparency. They do not. They hide everything.
That's much different physically.
DePonzio's attorney did not dispute the evidence in our report. In fact, she told the court she's not interested in our facts.
I am not going to get involved in the media spectacle that has been trying to be made of my client. Not only does that not help with her current health condition, but again, I don't take facts from the media. My client continues to suffer from ongoing medical issues that impact her life in significant ways.
But
It only impacts her ability to come to court and testify in all these cases where she has mishandled so much evidence. Doesn't impact her ability to give facials.
the judge asked again if anything has changed in the past year about her ability to testify.
You're saying it's just as true now as it was then.
Yes, Judge.
And without getting into it, it's on the strength of whatever updated records you provide.
Yes, Judge. Again, I can only provide the court with information that I am given, both through my client and supported by her medical records.
Multiple times, DePonzio's attorney told the judge she's just relaying what she's been provided, and their bottom line is she can't testify.
Based on the information that I have seen, that I have provided to the court independently, yes, that is our position.
After the 2-hour hearing, the judge ruled it's time for DePonzio to start answering questions.
Defendant's due process rights outweigh the individual rights that have been identified regarding Detective DePonzio.
And he's
All of the detective's rights outweigh any bullshit she's trying to pull. She mishandled evidence in tons of cases. They lied about it, they hid it, they covered it up. And now they're saying, oh, well, she can't come to court. Boo-hoo, drag her ass into court.
said it's time to get this case and many others back on track.
I have great fear about this becoming a trial within a trial. And for the last 6 months, this has almost exclusively been about Detective DePonzio.
The judge even referred to it as the, quote, DePonzio trial, but he said it's been necessary and important.
This is what corruption looks like. This is what tyrants look like.
Everybody has said, we're going to let this be the case that kind of directs, in some ways, what goes on in the others. So I know there are a number of people waiting in the wings to see what you may get out of this. But we had to go down this path.
So what happens now? Well, DePonzio will have to sit for a pre-trial defense interview in the next couple weeks, unless her attorneys try some sort of appeal. I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
Dave, thank you. Dave's been reporting on this scandal all year, and it isn't over. It's about much more than this detective. It's about systemic problems, handling homicide evidence, and he's now uncovered evidence showing Phoenix police work to...
Now, they're supposed to bring her in. This is in the next couple of weeks. This is from several months ago. Haven't heard anything about it. Wonder where she's at.
minimize and cover up her misconduct. Keep an eye out for that story in the near future.